say, hey, Bojo, Bojo. Wouldn't that? Couple of the areas that folks were needing a little extra review was in animals, weather, relative terms. And there was one more, I have it written down somewhere, but for tonight, we're going to cover Wesiak animals and what's happening outdoors, hence weather. We don't have a definitive word for weather. There's several ways you can talk about, like when you say, hey, how's the weather? You can say, Nija gom zagich, how is today outside? You can say, Nija zagich, what's happening outside? There's a few ways to say it. Another one that I've even heard is Nija gijga gom, literally, how is the day today? But that one is actually tricky because that one actually can also have a double meaning. And I know that for a fact because I was talking to a speaker one day and I said that to him. And we were indoors at the time. And I said, Nisha Eshgijguk Ngom. And he was like, Optagijgok. And I was like, okay. Like it can mean how is the weather, how is today? Or it can mean what is the day? And so he was like, it's Wednesday. And I was like, okay. Dual meaning words. That's something you got to keep in mind sometimes. And that's the way it is sometimes with some of our words in the language. Some of them really are dependent on situations. Certain words have more context in a situation. That's why sometimes it's a little bit zeneget nan gorgen gishpen ebisidoyen or jeshmoen epich konomagean. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult when you're hearing the language, while I'm teaching and equating it to like real life situations sometimes, because in the moment it can be a little more like, oh, okay. Because if I'm looking over there at a fire and I'm like, oh, Nui, or I'm looking at like a fire pit and I'm like, oh, Nui Bodwe, I'm going to build a fire. As you see me kind of getting wood together, well, it would be so much easier to comprehend that. Or if I said, oh, what did you cook this evening? Again, if I'm sitting there in the kitchen and somebody's got something on the pot, like a pot boiling or something like that, it's so much easier to sometimes understand this language when it's happening in that moment. So okay, so we're going to just go ahead and get started. Again, this is a review. So if folks do end up missing, that's okay, because we're going to have we'll have this recorded session that we can pull from later, and people can watch again. Again, Wesiak animals, and then Niju Gomzagich, weather, what's happening outside, were two areas that kind of were emphasized by a couple different people. So here we go. Let me move this one deal out of the way. So Mako is how we say bear in Potawatomi. Mako, it comes from Makowabjige. It's kind of the older way of where that word comes from. And it kind of talks about the way that bear is kind of turning things over. He's moving things around. And bear people traditionally a lot of times are the policemen of our villages, but they're also a lot of times medicine folks, because the bear really understands how those medicines work. So Mako. Suxi is one word for deer. Suxi. We also say wawashkeshi. And that wawashkeshi is talking about how that deer kind of, as it's bounding away, it just kind of flips its tail up, and that's kind of like, that's all you see as it kind of bounds away. In my experience, when I'm hunting, that's what I often see. I'm not the greatest hunter, I'll have to admit. I tend to make a little too much noise when I'm tromping around the woods, and that's the last thing you see is you see that wawashkeshi, that deer just kind of waving goodbye, just kind of throwing its tail up. Wawashkeshi. Yabe is a buck, yabe. And of course, certain words we have a lot more specific terminologies for them because they are kind of central to our way of life. The deer was definitely an animal that we depended on for venison, for suxi wias or wawashkeshi wias. But yabe is a buck, yabe. And there's a pretty popular drum group that calls themselves Iabe. That's where that comes from, Yabe. Nijan. Nijan is a doe. Nijan. Gedgene. Gedgene is a fawn. And that gedgene is talking about like the spotted fur of that fawn. Gedgene. Nekdosha. Nekdosha is a horse. Nekdosha. And if you guys, if you want to repeat those words where you're at in your own home, you don't have to do it out loud or anything, but just make sure you kind of repeat with me. Nekdosha. Nekdosha is a horse. And that nekdosha is talking about that one hoof, where like deers have those split hoofs that you'll see where they've got like two parts to the hoof. A horse just has one hoof, like doesn't have a cut down it. So that's where that word nekdosha comes from. Mozo. Mozo is moose. Mozo. Sometimes you'll also hear mos. And then in Ojibwa is more the oo sound. So you sometimes hear the moose. That's really kind of where that word comes from into English, more from the Ojibwa of moose. And I always laugh about this one in English because people are always like, oh, there's no plural to moose. And it's like, no, English just borrowed the singular form. That's why there's no plural. And it'd be like, mozoyuk or mozok. And English doesn't pluralize like that, so they didn't borrow the plural form of it. So mozo is a moose. Mozo. Adik is a caribou. Adik. There's another word that's kind of close to this, which is the word for whitefish, and that's adik muck. Adik muck. Anytime I see adik, that word for caribou, I sometimes think of that word for whitefish. Adik muck. Waptie. Waptie is an antelope. Waptie. That wap or wob is talking about the whiteness, and then die, it literally means your rear end. So it's talking about the whiteness of that antelope's rear end. Waptie. Waptie. Beshukke. Beshukke is a cow. Beshukke. But long ago, this was the word that we used for a buffalo. When the buffalo kind of got wiped out in the, I guess around the 1860s or so, and the railroads were coming through, and they really just basically just slaughtered the buffalo. I mean, we're lucky we have any buffalo left today at all, but just kind of wiped out hundreds and hundreds of buffalo. There used to be millions of buffalo that would run on the prairies, and so once the buffalo kind of got wiped out, but the beshukke, the cow, kind of became that new kind of livelihood. So people started calling the cow the beshukke. And they started calling the buffalo bagoch beshukke. Bagoch means wild, or mishkode beshukke. Mishkode beshukke. Mishkode means prairie, and then beshukke. So it's like prairie cow. But if you look at older documents, like older treaties and things like that, if you see that word beshukke on one of those, maybe as an ancestor's name or something like that, it's not going to be the cow they're talking about there. They're talking about the buffalo. So, and then that mishkode, that word for prairie, it literally means burnt over area. Shkode is a fire. Shkode, mishkode is a burnt over area, because the way that I understand it is back in the day, they used to light the prairies on fire to kind of get the nutrients out of the grass and kind of get it in the ground before they planted. Like they would intentionally light the prairies on fire. That, or they just simply got caught on fire a lot, and so that was pretty common to have that burnt over area, that mishkode for the prairie. Mjewe is an elk. Mjewe. And let's go through each of these words a couple times more so that we can hear them, because the more times you hear these words, the more times that you practice pronouncing the words, the easier it becomes to eventually remember these words. Because I think they say sometimes you have to hear a word like, if it's 30 or 50 times maybe before it really kind of sinks in. So we're going to go ahead and say each of these words maybe like 10 times, okay? McCall, 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 McCall. Mako, 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 Mako. And I know it seems real repetitive. It might seem kind of silly to you, but I'm telling you, just hearing that word multiple times, and you actually trying to say that word out loud to yourself multiple times will really help kind of lock that word into your mind. Now, this one, for some reason, people can pick up this version of deer really easy, and I think it's because it sounds like we're saying like sexy. So they hear that and they're like sexy, and then like, oh, that's funny. Sucksy, 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 and sucksy. Okay. Wawashkeshi, 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 wawashkeshi. Yabe, 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 yabe. I think I did 10. Yabe. Not exact science there when you're doing, if you're not counting your head too. So Nijan, 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 Nijan. Gedgene, 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 Gedgene. Nekdosha, neck, like your neck, dosha, nekdosha, nekdosha. Oh, nekdosha. May let this person in real quick. Nekdosha, nekdosha. Hey, Bojo, Bojo. We were just getting started. You haven't missed too much. We're just kind of reviewing based on what folks had talked about previously. A couple of the areas that folks really wanted to kind of review was animals and weather. Relatives was another one. There were a couple other categories, but today we're going to work on animals and weather. And we're just right now. I've went through the words one time, and we're just saying the words like 10 times. So if you can say the words where you're at, again, you don't have to do it out loud. Just do it, from your own home or whatever. Because the more times that you hear these words and the more times that you practice pronouncing these words, it really will help lock it in your mind. They say, I think it takes about 50 times of hearing or saying a word before it really kind of starts to stick real well. So we're on Nekdosha, horse. Nekdosha, 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 Nekdosha. Now, mozo, 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 mozo. Adik, 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 caribou. Adik, 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 adik. Wabdie, wapdie, 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 waptie, 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 an antelope. And then again, this Bashukke used to be used for buffalo back in the day, but once the buffalo kind of got wiped out, the Bashukke took its place. So uh, Bashukke, 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 Bashukke. Bagoch, Bashukke, 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 Bagoch, Bashukke. The other word for buffalo, Mishkode Bashukke, 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 Mishkode Bashukke. And then Mjewe, 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 elk. Okay. Let me move the slide, this little window box over for you. It's in my way. Okay. Mako Ndao, Wangolwin Edayan, Jakshanagago Washkabuk Namijin, Namin Padan Amolzispa Quet, Wiaskesha Namijin. Let me read this for you again. Mako Ndao, Wangolwin Edayan, Jakshanagago Washkabuk Namijin, Namin Padan Amolzispa Quet, Wiaskesha Namijin. So I'm a bear, Mako Ndao. Wangolwin Edayan. I live in a den. Jakshanagago Washkabuk Namijin. I eat all kinds of sweet stuff. Namin Padan Amolzispaquet. I like the taste of honey. Amolzispaquet. Wiasgesha Namijin. I also eat wias or meat. Wiasgesha Namijin. Okay. And here's one with Gedgene. Gedgene Ndao. Nijan o Ngie. Megwe Sagya Nidines. Negie Nonak Neabo Nide Shimak. Epich Gachieyan. Gekpisha Mishkosen. Web Mijan. Nide Gidines. Nide Gidiges. Nide Gidiges. Chowiye Ebawa Wabmawat Edokmesh Neyan. So, one more time here. Gedgene Ndao. Nijan o Ngie. Megwe Sagya Nidanes. Ngie no Nakneabo Nide. Shimuk Epich Gachieyan. Gekpisha Mishkosen Webmijan. Nide Gidiges. Chowiye Ebawa Wabmawat Edokmeshneyan. So I am a fawn. The doe is my mother. I stay in the thick brush. My mom feeds me milk when I'm really small. Finally, I start eating grass. I am spotted so no one can see where I lay. Okay. Some more animals here. Aspen. Aspen is a raccoon. Aspen. I always tell people one way to remember this word is if you can think of like something that sounds like it, whether it be an aspen tree. Like if you're really good with your trees, if you can imagine maybe a raccoon maybe hanging around an aspen tree. Or the one that I always like to use is there's a pretty famous place for skiing in the United States. It's Aspen, Colorado. So I always imagine like a raccoon like on some skates just going downhill. Aspen, raccoon, aspen. Aspen. Gedede, gedede, otter, gedede. Gok or get to me, gok or get to me, a porcupine. Zheshko, 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 the muskrat. Muck, muck is a beaver, muck. Bijou, bijou is a wildcat or a bobcat, bijou. Shipshi, shipshi is a large cat. It can be a mountain lion. It can even be used for a tiger. I've seen people use it even for that. Shipshi. Single, single is a squirrel, a gray squirrel, single. This comes from this word sinjige, which means to catch food or to kind of like store up or hoard food. Sinjige. Ojidemo, ojidemo, a black squirrel, ojidemo. Jingos, jingos, a weasel, jingos. Ojik, ojik, ojik is a fisher, ojik. Napajnakesi, napajnakesi is a mole. This one's kind of a funny one because napajnakesi means kind of like that left hand. It's talking about the left arm of that mole, that animal. And I don't know what it is about moles. I don't know why it likes to describe that left hand, that napajnakesi. But I don't know if all moles are left-handed. I don't know. I never really looked into that one, but I always wondered about that. Napajnakesi, a mole. Ganepshque, ganepshque is a mink. Ganepshque. Kokjis, kokjis is a woodchuck or a groundhog. Kokjis, not to be confused with kojis. Kojis are head lice. So you got kokjis is a woodchuck or a groundhog, and kojis is head lice. So without the K, so kokjis. Gwekwaze, gwekwaze is a chipmunk. Gwekwaze. Mo'oe, mo'oe is a wolf. Mo'oe, and we also say maingan, maingan for like a timber wolf. Maingan. So mo'oe or maingan. That mo'oe is it's got like a little glottal stop there. It's like mo'oe. And that mo kind of indicating like kind of how it cries out, you know, how a wolf's like, oh, oh, that kind of crying out, I guess. Mo'oe. Maingan, maingan. Ioni, ioni is a possum. Ioni. Now I want to try to again do what we did last time, and I want to go through each of these words. And if you guys will, where you're at, just kind of say them to yourselves. Either repeat after me or say them when I say them, but try to say them at least these 10 times, or that way you can hear it and say it out loud. So aspen, 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 aspen. Gedede, 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 gedede. Gok, 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 gok. Or get to me, 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 get to me. Sheshko, Sheshko. Let me move this mic. Sorry, I'm moving this camera around a little bit. Zheshko, 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 Zheshko. Muck, 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 muck. That beaver. Bijou, 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 bijou. Again, try to repeat where you're at. Bijou, 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 bijou. That wildcat or that bobcat. Shipshy, 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 shipshy. A large cat. Again, it could be a mountain lion, or it could be a tiger, it could be any type of large cat. Shipshy. Single, 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 single. That gray squirrel. Single, 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 single. And again, this one comes from sinjige, to catch food, kind of store food up. Ojidimo, 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 ojidimo. That's that black squirrel. Jingos, 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 jingos. That weasel. Ojik, 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 ojik. That fisher. Nepajnakesi, 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 nepajnakesi. Ganepshkwe, 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 and ganepshkwe, the mink. Kokjis, 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 kokjis. That woodchuck or that ground dog. Kokjis, 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 kokjis. Kietnam Norden Zagich. It's really windy outside. It kind of got my attention. Gwekwaze, gwekwaze, gwekwaze. The chipmunk. Gwekwaze, 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 gwekwaze. Mo-owe. Again, this one's kind of got like a little glottal stop. So it's like mo-owe, 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 and mo-owe. This one, it's kind of funny. This is actually a word that I named one of my dogs because he was part wolf, and I named him mo-owe. Really good dog. But another thing about this word is down here in Oklahoma, our tribe down here recently purchased a semi-professional basketball team, and they call them the Potawatomi Fire, and they made the mascot Mo for Mo-owe, like for short. He's a wolf, so Mo-owe, the mascot. Myingen, Myingen is a timber wolf. Myingen, 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 Ma'ingen, Ma'ingen, and Ma'ingen. Ayani, 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 a possum. Okay. Aspendau, nan gorgen wan gok, nididines, minam takok, begwinesjuk, mukchakoyak, zinakwe geshiyak, nidimwak, mina jakshnagagom beak, ednes simgut. Nede gazibi nan gagoy mijan, nukmukshna, nididines. So I'm a raccoon. Once in a while, I stay in a den in the ground and in the trees that have holes in them. I eat frogs, crabs, and all kinds of things that live in the water. I wash everything that I eat. I stay all over. Again, aspendau, nangorgan wangok nididines, mina ntukok, begwinesjuk, mukchakoyak, zinakwegeshiyak, nidimwak, mina jakshana gagombik, ednesimguk, nadagizibi nan gagoy mijan, nukmukshana nadadines. Okay. There's another little one with the wolf, mo'oe, mo'oe ndao, wangoen edayan, ntukwa kik nadadines, mechbieyak mina, mechbiesyak nadimwak, ebemedaki wak ndoston edayan. So I am wolf. My home is a den. I stay in the forest. I eat small animals and animals. I make my home on the side of hills. Mo'oe ndao, wangoen edayan, mtukwa kik nadidanes, mechbieyak mina mechbiesuk nadimwak, ebemedaki wak ndoston edayan. Okay. So that's kind of a little review on some animals that we had already went over. There's obviously other animals that we can cover, and we could actually probably talk about animals for quite a few classes. I mean, when you figure, everything around us, there's bugs, there's insects, there's birds, there's farm animals, like domestic animals, there's words that we have for animals that are not indigenous to this continent, or like things that you might see in a zoo or things like that. But we can definitely go over animals quite a bit more, and we probably will. I'm sure we will in the future. Like I said, there's a lot to be covered with animals. And megwa ebisidoyan bakan kedwinin megwa waja and nistatoyan ebagosinjigayan. So the more that you hear it, the more that you're going to understand, I hope. So, okay. So we're going to do a little bit with weather too today. Nijugom zagech. How is today outside? Literally, how is the weather today? Nijugom zagech. Zagech means outside. Niju means how or what. And then gom is today. So nijugom zagech. How is the weather today? Manogijget. Manogijget. It's a nice day or a beautiful day. Manogijget. And if you want to tell someone to have a nice day, you can say Manogijget can. Have a nice day. Manogijget can. That's a little bit more slangy, but it's still using your language. And any opportunity that you have to use your language, I would encourage that. If you go outside and it's a beautiful day, you can say, oh, miigwech manogijget. Thank you for this beautiful day. In fact, that's something I often talk about when I pray, because Nadebwitan gishminadokiyan paneshna and minogijguk. I think that every day that I wake up is a good day. And they say that if you get to that point where you start to be angry about certain types of maybe it's ice, maybe it's rain, maybe it's it's always windy or it's always rainy, you start to complain about these type things. They say that you get to that point where suddenly maybe you're not going to get that rain. It's going to be a drought, things like that. So it's best not to be too glum about those dreary days or those snowy days, because you could be without them at all, and that could be bad for the land, for the plants and the things around you. So Mano get. It's a nice day or a beautiful day. Mano get. Gjatam get. Gjatam get. It's hot. Gjatam get. Now this one, people always tell me this one sounds like, man, it sounds hot. Gjatam get. And for some people, they think it sounds a little bit, it sounds kind of close to an English like curse word. You can also just say gajate. You can say gajate or gajatem get for it's hot. But one thing to note here is our language is very, very specific. So when you're talking about hot, you're talking about something that the sun has actually caused. You're talking about something weather related when you're saying gajatem get. Because if you're talking about something like maybe the soup is hot or the stove is hot, the actual verb will change. It'll be gajadam get. So gajadam get, it's hot, something not caused by the sun. Even if like if you're in your car or you're in your house and you crank the heat up inside, then that would be gajadam get. Now, if it's hot because it's hot outside and just kind of radiating in, yeah, you could probably still say gajadam get. But so usually it's in reference to weather, gajadam get. And when it comes to weather, you don't really pluralize. You don't say like it's hot. You won't say like they're hot, because you're talking about weather. You're talking about a weather phenomenon, so it wouldn't be pluralized. Kesenyam get. It's cold. Kesenyam get. You can also just say kesenya. Kesenyam get. It's cold. Kesenyam get. Bonim get. Bonim get means it's snowing. Bonim get. And with snow, we have a lot of words for snow and ice. And this is just your general word for snowing. In fact, once snow is on the ground, we actually use a different word. We say gone. Gone when snow's like actually on the ground. Bonim get is like when it's kind of like fluttering down. Bonim get. And if you say boniswen would be like light snow, or shiopo is the way to say like heavy snow. So there's a lot of terminologies and words for snowing. But let's see if I got any questions while I'm looking real quick here. No questions, okay. And if you guys have questions as we go along, please don't hesitate. You can ask them, or if you want to just put them in the chat, I can always see them up there. Hopefully I see them when I check it, and I can kind of follow up on some of those things if you have questions. One nice thing about this class, I think, is it's a relatively small class, and it's a community-based class. So I think the nice thing about that is, you don't have to worry about, oh, is this person going to think this of me or think that of me? Just don't gago zagzag can and don't be afraid to use your language. So to talk the language. So don't be afraid of that. So bonim get, it's snowing, and then gamoan, it's raining. And this little silly thing I always talk about rain. It's always helped a lot of people remember that word for it's raining, because I always say once it gets to raining, you got to get gamoan, because anytime it rains, your grass really takes off and grows. And before you know it, you got to get gamoan. Gamoan, you got to get to mowing. Gamoan, it's raining. Gamoan. So let's say these words again. Let's say them several times. We'll go for 10 again. If you want to repeat with me, or if you want to wait and let me say it, and then you can repeat right after. I'll try to leave like a little pause in between. Either way you want. But again, the more you hear it, the more you're saying it, the more it's going to hopefully lock inside your mind. So we'll start with how is the weather today? Nijagomzagic. 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 Nijigom zagich. Nijigom zagich. Nijigom zagich. Nijigom zagich. Nijigom zagich. Menogizget. 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 Gajatam get. Gajatam get. It is hot. Gajatam get. 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 Or again, you just say gajate. 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 Gajatam get. Kasinyam 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 get. Kasinyam. I'm sorry if you say it too many times. You want to just start doing silly things sometimes. Kasinyam get. Kasinyam get. Bonim 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 get. It's snowing. Bonim get. And again, there's a lot of ways to talk about snow and ice. This is just your basic. It's snowing. Bonim get. Bonim get. Gamoen. 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 Good. Okay. A few more words here. Again, still looking at some weather stuff. Waseyam get. Oh man. Namanes Giza skis go kaj my sunglasses. Waseyam get. Waseyam get. It's bright. Waseyam get. 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 Takeyam get. This is the weather I really prefer. Not too hot, not too cold. Cool. Nice cool weather. Nice cool weather. Takeyam get. Seems like this is oftentimes our spring and sometimes our fall weather. Takeyam get. I mean, Takeyam. At least down here in Oklahoma, we have a lot more hot, a lot more gajatem get type days. So Takeyam get. Takeyam get. It's cool. Takeyam get. And again, this is talking about weather. So if you said it's cool, like talking about something, you could say like maybe some food or something. You could say tekade, and then tekade non. They're cool or they're cold. Tekade non. Tekeyam get. Tekeyamget. Tekeyamget. Noden. Noden. Noden means it's windy. Noden. Niskadet. Oh wait, we're doing it multiple times. I thought mine multiple times. So or no, it's the first time through, excuse me. So Noden, Noden, it's windy, Noden. Niskadet, it's stormy, Niskadet, Niskadet. So Waseyamget, 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 Waseyamget. Waseyamget. Remember to repeat them where you're at. Waseyamget. Otherwise, I'm just repeating them for my own benefit, which it's fine. But Waseyamget. 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 Reminds me of this piece we did. We did this little I don't know. We did this little like spoof of Finding Nemo. It reminds me of when we did this part where I was talking like Dory, like Bojo. Sorry. Waseyamget. Waseyamget. It's bright. Waseyamget. Tekeyamget. Tekeyamget. It's cool. Tekeyamget. Tekeyamget. It's cool. Noden. Noden. It's windy. Noden. That's what it is today. So, oh wait, I was supposed to repeat these multiple times here. So, say bonjour.
Bonjour.
You sound like a hick when you said that. Bonjour. 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 Okay. Joe. Majin. Epich Kinomagayan. So Tekeyamget. 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 Dapnen I mina zagjewebenen. Dapnen I mina zagjewebenen. Konige. Cho, what knisje ga? Zagjewebenen. Tekeyamget. 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 It's cool. Tekeyamget. Noden. It's windy. Noden. And if you want to say it's really windy, you can say chi Noden or Kitchenoden. Another one you can say is like Kietnam Noden. But just like with snowing, there's a lot of ways to talk about the wind. You can get very specific. You can talk about like Gwek on Met, like the wind turning direction. You can say Nok on Met, like a soft wind. You can say Tekeyam get, like a cool breeze. Lots of ways you can talk about it. But Noden is just your basic windy. Noden. Niskadet is stormy. So again, Noden. 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 Okay, I got a question. Okay, let me see what we got up here. It's bright. Is it the same as sunny? Yeah, sunny or bright. It's the same word. Yeah. Waseya means bright, sunny. And there's actually a few ways you can talk about sunny too. You can also say like Bosque Day is another way to say sunny. Bosque Day or Waseya. Yeah, bright in the sense of sunny. I mean, I should have been a little more specific. So yeah, it's talking about sunny as well. Like that's the type of brightness. It wouldn't be like a bright, like if you're talking about like a color that like is really bright or vibrant, wouldn't be the same thing. It'd be sunny or bright. Yes. Good question, Miigwech. Niskadet. It's stormy. Niskadet. Remember wherever you guys are at right there. Make sure you're repeating the words with me. Niskadet. It's stormy. Niskadet. Okay, and I've got like one more deal of weather terms, I think, here. Okay. So we got Nguanquet. Nguanquet. It's cloudy. Nguanquet. And that Nguanquet, how it's kind of, oh, I don't know, something weird just happened. It says my default microphone. I think I might have hit my thing. Change my microphone. Okay. Let me make sure. Can y'all still hear me? My video stopped for a minute. That's weird.
Yes, I can.
Okay, something weird happened with my mic. It said it was like my default mic changed or something.
I thought it was maybe the storm here. It's thundering and stuff now. So I thought maybe that was it, the weather on my end.
Maybe I thought, or maybe I just tapped something by accident. So okay, I don't know, but luckily it didn't last if it did happen. So or whatever happened. So like I said, we're almost finished up here. But again, this is just one of the two topics that people really kind of pointed out as something they wanted to address some more was animals and weather. And like I said, with animals, we'll definitely address that again. There's a lot of different types of animals, and we can get very specific. We can get into like our bird terminologies. Dokam jana epich kanomage majin odajopingom. Sorry. Nguanquet, it's cloudy. Nguanquet, it's cloudy. Mjequet, it's a clear sky. Mjequet. Misugnam get, it's hailing. Misugnam get. And there's several ways to talk about hailing, just like there is talking about like snowing too. You can say like McQueen you can say McCall and there's even a few more terminologies for hailing. Wind sea wind is foggy. Wind sea wind. And the last one I got on here is Jigwek Bamosewat. The thunders are walking. This is kind of just an old expression that I've heard some speakers use for just talking about like when they hear those thunders out there. Jigwek Bamosewat. The thunders are walking. Jigwek Bamosewat. And whenever a storm comes in, usually it's a good idea to take a little bit of sema and kind of go out and put your tobacco down and use a little sema and say a little prayer for your family to kind of watch over them. Say, Nijok Meshinwaja Mtino Minop Madziak Mina Jitama Goyak. We only want good health and help. So let's say these ones here about again like 10 times so we can hear them. Nguanquet. 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 It's really weird. My camera's not showing up now. Nguanquet. 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 It's cloudy. Mjequet. 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 It's a clear sky. Mjequet. Misugnam get. Misugnam get. It's hailing. Misugnam get. I actually need to say Mjequet a couple more times. Mjequet. 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 A clear sky. Misugnam get. 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 It's hailing. Wind sea wind. Wind sea wind. Wind sea wind. It's foggy. Wind sea wind. 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 And the final one there, that expression that for the thunders are walking. Jigwek Bamosewat. Jigwek Bamosewat. The thunders are walking. Jigwek Bamosewat. 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 And again, whenever you hear those storms kind of approaching, you have to always remember to take a little bit of your sema, put it down, and offer that, and just ask for, just say, uh, Mishin Minot Madsman, give me good health, and Jitma Goswan and help. Or, you can get a lot more elaborate, obviously. And actually, I think it'd be a good class to have on how to pray in the language. I think a lot of people would appreciate a class like that. Um, some of that spiritual words and things like that to use when we're praying. So, Miigwech Jayak and Bagosun Jigame Dagwin Demuk what a Bodwewadmimwen Kenomagewan Oran Gom. Hope you all enjoyed the class day again. I know it's kind of a review of stuff. Miigwech, I got a question here. Oh, absolutely. Yep. How? I assume that was about my saying like a little class on like how to pray in the language and stuff like that. I think that'd be a good class, some of that spiritual talk. So we'll definitely make that a class as well. So again, I'm glad y'all could be with me today. Big wetch for coming and Bamamina, Bamapi. And as always, if you guys have questions later on, please don't hesitate to send me an email at jneely@podmami.org and I can help you out. How?